Hi Stan, Nick here from MagLoft. I just wanted to make a video quickly demonstrating how we could take your existing magazine and the functionality that you have in there and apply it to our editor so you get kind of the same outcome. So here I am in our editor and I've set up this demo page. And you can see it works very similar to your magazine, whereas when you scroll, the content will scroll on top of the image. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see the full image here. So I just want to show you quickly how I created this page. I'll go to a blank demo page that I have here, and just to let you know, this is actually on our development server, so you won't be able to go in and do exactly what I'm showing you, but you will very soon when we will push it live. So here I am on the demo page. This is just a blank page. There's nothing on it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to drag in a layer widget and just drop it in here. And if I select it, you can see on the right properties, here's my layer widget, which has a bunch of different settings that you can play around with. The next thing I want to do is the first thing I want to do is I actually want to give it an image background. So here under image source, I click the image, which opens up my library. And again, this is our development server, so it looks a bit different. But I'll select the image that I uploaded earlier and close this one out. Now it looks a bit weird, and that is because I need to tell the layer widget that the minimum height you should display should always be 100%. So I just type 100%, hit return, and you can see now the widget will show me 100%. This up here is just a visual thing. And I can scroll down. So this is the first part of our setup here. I can go on landscape mode and it will just kind of zoom in on this image that I selected as the background. The next thing I want to do is I want to get a second layer widget. I'm going to drag it inside the first layer widget and drop it there. It's kind of hard to see, but this is the second layer widget, and this one here with the image is the first one, the top layer. And I'm going to tell it to move the second layer down, so padding top. I'm going to change that to 75 VH, which is basically telling it always be 75% of the height of the device. It's a bit weird, but we'll make that easier to understand later on. So now if I go on here, you can see here's my layer. It's been pushed down 75% of the device. If I go to landscape, again, it remains 75%. Cool. Now what I want to do is I want to tell this layer to have a background color of white. And then I will tell the topmost layer to just give me a little bit of padding left. I'll give this one 10%. And for the padding right, I'll just give it 5%. So you can see it gives me some spacing here for my, my second layer. And then basically all I need to do is I'll drag in some content in this layer here. Hello world. And I'll just going to go ahead and drag in a paragraph below that and add in some text. And you can see the more text I add, the more zoomed this background image becomes. And that is due to a setting here on the layer that uses that background image. It is set to cover, which means it will always try to cover the entire page. So as this grows, so will the image in the back, because it's trying to cover it all. We can change that, and we'll just tell it, stay at 100% width. So there we are. It's now 100% width, but it looks weird. We have top and bottom spacing, and that is because the editor will just center this image to the full page. So there's one more setting that we need to adjust, and that is at the bottom here. We have the parallax effect. If we change that to static, it will now remain on top and at 100% width, so it will give us a desired result. There are a few other things that you can adjust as well, of course. So if I select the layer with my text, we have a border. So I can round it out like you also have in your magazine. I can give it a 10 pixel. And you can see here it makes a nice smooth round corner instead. And of course, if I wanted to let the user be able to see the full image when they scroll, again, that is by the main layer, the background image. I can go down and I can say padding bottom. I want to give it 100% padding bottom, and that will allow me to scroll all the way to the bottom. There we go. I needed a 100 VH, and now it will let me scroll all the way to the bottom so I can see the full image, and I can scroll back up here. We can also change the parallax effect from static. For example, if I go with the gentle down, then you can see when I scroll, the background image will kind of move with me, which gives a nice subtle effect. And then again here it kind of breaks. And there's a trick to get around that. If I select the background layer again, and then I go up to the top here and I choose background color, I can set that to black, which works very well with the image that I have selected. You can see kind of just fades over really nicely. And then of course here, if it doesn't really look, you probably don't want this effect that you can scroll all the way down to black. So then I could just remove the padding at the bottom, just remove that entirely, and then the page would stop exactly here or something like that. So it's just another way to use the parallax effect, and we'll have more of these interactive things that you can play around with very soon. And if I switch to landscape, you can see it will still zoom in. It will make sure that the image is 100% width. It still looks good, and it's really cool that it works both horizontal and landscape. So again, I just wanted to quickly demonstrate how that actually works in our editor, what it kind of looks like. We'd be happy to help you set up a theme, like a custom theme of your own. So when you go to pages and you select create new page, you would have some predefined templates here that have the desired settings already included, so you don't have to go and reproduce every page from scratch like I just showed you. So I hope that gives you a bit of insight into how it works. This is all pure HTML. It's all responsive. So even when we do publish on the web, which we will soon, a full screen will have the same functionality, and it will just look super great. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot, Stan.